So we'll call our November meeting to order. Members present, we have David Baird, Ann Magliosi, Joseph Casasano, James McNamara, our administrator Patty Hazel, and our investments consultant Stan Starr. So Stan, if you'd like to start out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll begin with our usual summary, my updated version as of 10 minutes ago. For October, we don't have the official confirmation yet. We'll probably get it almost guaranteed tomorrow, and that's kind of how it's been going. But nonetheless, the value in the portfolio is $81,840,254. There was no money in or out of that for this particular month of October, and the difference between that and the ending balance from the previous for September was $99,878 in the negative. That puts us for a year-to-date of $6,938,869, also known as 9.3% from the beginning balance, which was $74,689. So that's where it is. Confirmation, again, not yet received. If there's any major differences or any difference whatsoever, I will always update this unofficial summary, but we haven't gotten the net of fees yet. Pretty much not much difference in what's been happening in terms of the allocations. We have just a shade below 5% overweight with private equity as we stand here. And I know later in this meeting, there'll be a need to address what the board wishes to do, to buy or not to buy. It just reflects too the increase in the PRIT cash up from 2.5 to 3.5. And it boosts, as we all know, we're getting a yield somewhere in the 4.5 range. Patty, is that accurate?
We still comfortable with that? Is that what we still think we're getting?
It was close to 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a good move. That's going to bring some good money. Hopefully it'll last for a little bit while longer too. So the total, while things are said and done, accounting for the cash, which I think a recent request was for $100,000 that needed to be put in for the year, for this current month.
Yes, this month.
And right now, so at the end of the month of October, $82,165,164 is the total valuation of the board's assets. Any questions about what I just presented? Okay. The next addressing is the exchange notice. I finally remembered to ask Patty to have me put in the proper order of the line of march. It's 1A in your packet. And for the month of December, the money transfer total amount going in will be $14,521. That's money going in. That's not an overage receipt of distributions beyond drawdowns. That is what is going to be drawn. And going to the third page of that report, they give the summary. And I highlight 2024 because although we've asked for $750 million, we've only had drawn $166,000 to date, and this is printed up. So we have a way to go to meet that request. If I remember correctly, and maybe someone can correct me or confirm the same, that I believe Francesco said that they will be getting less than the targeted amount.
That's correct.
I don't think he gave any numbers. Now, what he means by less, to be determined. I don't think he knows that. I don't think anyone knows that, frankly. So I just put that out there that there's probably we're going to get less, possibly we're going to get less than the request of $750.
I think he indicated half, actually.
Was it that much difference? Okay, I shouldn't say that, but in terms of distributions we've received, and this has been pretty steady. The column of distributions, which is the fourth one over on the page 3, it shows $1,704,318 in distributions. That's 52% of the drawn capital. That's a pretty consistent number. I do this every month, and I look at it, and it's always around that half mark, 50, 52. So there is some cash flow that continues to come in that supports the need to put in less money. Okay, so that's the story on the month of November going into December. The transfer amount's not a huge amount, but it's $14,000. The next form I have to share with the audience is, and this is a new one, we've not seen this one before. It looks like this, it's 1B in your packet. Am I doing a good job, Diana, getting them in order? Thank you. But this says a net of fees, and we don't know whether to believe it. Patty and I looking at this, we have not seen this form before. We usually get a net of fees report, which hasn't arrived yet. It'll probably be here tomorrow or the next day. That seems to be what typically happens in here. So if this is to believe, and I look at the month, and this is for the Bridge Fund itself, if you look under the category, right in the middle of the form there, the month, for this current month, the capital fund was a negative 1.43%. See that number? Now, if I did my numbers properly, and I try to be very careful, and I always subject to getting it confirmed, we lost a little bit less than that. I come up with a loss of 0.12. So we were a little betterment, losing less for the month. October was not a kind month, but it was negative 1.2 in our portfolio versus the negative 1.43. If this is in fact the net of fees, and I don't know that until we either
Could be,
confirm.
it usually says gross of fees, so this month, for some reason, they put net of fees on this report, so we don't know if it really.
Yeah, they kind of threw us a curveball here as to what this really means. So you can run down, and again, for the month, the best performing sector was value-added income at 0.33%, and the portfolio completion, which is a variety of different things in that one as well. The worst performing one was fixed income, excluding the overlay, which is a very, very small piece of the portfolio. So there wasn't anything extraordinary about the month, other than it was a negative month, a small negative. So I don't know what else any light I can shine on this, because I'm just not certain. Yeah, if in fact it is a net of fees. We'll find out shortly. Okay, on that. And the last one I have is 1C, which is, this is the total I take it from, the market value, 81,840,254, which should be the amount I give you on my summary sheet. That's what it was, the closing of last month, and that's where I come up with the 0.12% for a negative for the month of October. So we've done better by doing less worse. If that makes sense. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Trying to give you some idea what the month of November will look like, unless there's any questions before we move on. Are there, board members have any questions? No? Good. Looking at November, I did this this morning, so it's really up to date. When I left the office, the S&P was up slightly, the Dow was flat. There was much else going on here, but by my calculations for the month, the S&P 500 was up 4.6% the month. It was a good month. That's a very good month, actually. So that included, but what didn't do well were the two European funds and the emerging market funds. One was down 1.8, the other one was down nearly 3%. So the overseas didn't do as well as the U.S. U.S. recovered quicker. One big issue I think that was taken care of in November, as we all know, is the election's over. And I will miss those ads in the New Hampshire governor race, but I'll just have to live with it. So what I come up with on in terms of a month to date is 1.5% positive. I'm not positive, but that's my projection of the number. Should we, well, before I get into the conversation about what to do on private equity going forward, I referenced the cash amount in November, $100,000 is coming out, that's been requested. Probably received by now, Patty?
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's been, yeah, they were asking for November 22, so that's in the bank.
That's in the bank last Friday. That's what I used to pay the bills on the warrant.
All right, I don't have any other reporting to go in here other than whatever discussion that you would like to enter into regarding what to do with private equity for the next year, 2025.
All right. Any input? We had talked about it. I think you recommended last meeting, maybe 500,000.
Yeah, and I got a little more information that might be helpful to the board too by looking at it was because of what we saw in that previous report, there's still $764,000 that it's due for the last 2 years' worth of what we've already committed to. So keep that in the back of your mind. Now, having said that, that includes the full amount that we requested. If it is in fact half, well, forget what I just said. It might be closer to 300, but that's unknown at this point in time. If it was going to be close to being that number, my mind's telling me somewhere between 500 and 600,000 might be a consideration. We've been overrated, and it's worked very well because we are beating all the averages over any longer term, maybe than a year. And once we get the net of fees, we'll be able to determine exactly by how much as of the October date, but we don't have that right now for that specifics. But what I came up now is just shy of 5% is the overweight, the amount of money we have over and above the 16.5% that's in the private equity portfolio within the capital fund. So we got 16.5 in that one bank, we're controlling 4.7. And when I came up with that number, I mentioned to you the 764,000, that would add another 8. It all boils down to, if in fact we get all of that, 22% exposure to private equity. I think that's good. I don't think we're shy. To the contrary, I suspect we're probably ahead of 3/4 of the, if not more, of the entities in terms of private equity. And it has rewarded the board with a very good performance over the 3, 5, and 10 timeframes, years. So I put it back to the board.
So
as
you're
to-
sticking with that 500, or you're saying a little more?
Well, you know, in light of what, again, Francesco had said at the last meeting when he was here, that, and David, I guess I heard, I don't remember hearing the 0.5%. If we're only gonna get half of that, then I maybe veer more towards a 6 or 750 number, or 700 number, rather than the 5. I predicated it on by running this and saying, we already got a full year's waiting to be paid. So that's kind of where I was with the 500-ish. So I'm not trying to waffle here. I think
Anybody have
just-
any other
Then
questions?
he
Yeah, I was just-
doesn't know.
He doesn't
I mean, I'm
know,
more
but-
comfortable with the 5, but
Okay.
I'll go with the board.
I was good with Stan's 5 from the last meeting until I heard Francesco's report, because I think he's indicating, and I was at 5 because we've been pretty consistent with the 750 range. But if we're only gonna realize half of what we've asked for there, then I'm leaning back towards the 750, or some compromise between perhaps.
Between 500 and 750?
Yeah.
600.
So we have 600 thrown out? Joe, you're smiling, go ahead.
Want to make a motion
Joe.
for 600? I'll make the motion.
I don't think you don't know which way they're gonna go.
No,
so.
of course.
Yeah, you don't
I mean, I'm
know,
comfortable with 5 or 6, I don't.
you don't know what they're going to do either. You don't know what they're going to take. They could take the whole amount, right?
They're good.
Anybody want to make 6? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll
for
make a
6?
motion for 6.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded. Diane, you okay with that? Any other, so we have one on the floor, we have $600,000. Motion made, any seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have 600,000. Now, before you leave, we gotta come up with, next meeting date. Because it'll get kinda interesting at the end of the next month.
I wrote down dates, I don't know if it will help. Does it, like, as far as, you could do Friday the 20th, but that's on the early side.
20th sounds kind of early if we can get away with that, because we're not gonna have everything in by then, are we? Any other reports, or?
How about Monday, the 30th?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was gonna say either the 23rd or the 30th, which would work as
Did you
well.
say the 30th?
That's a Monday.
Monday, the
Monday,
30th,
the
so we have,
30th. Because Tuesday is New Year's Eve. So that's fine with me, but
Does anyone have a preference between, so what, the 23rd and 30th would be the best 2 dates? And the 30th would probably be better
I
to
think
get
the
all the
23rd is
reports
awful
in.
early. We're not gonna have any data on the
Is the
23rd.
30th okay
so
with Stan?
30th is fine.
You're your servant, whatever. you
30th is a
wish.
what? No, when is
That's a
that?
Monday.
The 30th probably is best, so that
30th
we have
is
the
fine.
reports in and
All right,
everything
everybody
else.
seems to be going along with the 30th, is that good? Now, keep in mind, if something comes up, we can always change it, but right now, let's just try to shoot at it. So our next meeting will be December 30th.
Okay. At 3 o'clock, stick to the 3.
3 o'clock, I would think, 3
Yep.
o'clock.
One thing I just noted on my records here, just going back for a second, Mr. Chairman, I was suggesting at the last meeting that the guesstimate for the October performance was going to be a negative .62. I know you like to keep score how close I am, but that's what it was, at 6.2 on my crude.
We just wrote it down. All right, so everybody's all set, we're all, Stan, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanks, Dan.
Thanksgiving.
Have a
You
good
too.
Thanksgiving
Yeah,
and a good
same. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Have a good
And
Thanksgiving
a Merry
and a
Christmas,
good
that's
Christmas.
right. Won't be seeing each
Right.
other
We'll
after that.
save New Year's until the 30th to wish everybody. All right,
Okay, we're in good shape. We're in good shape at this point. I'd like to see double digits, and if it holds up for another month, we should be there. We'll get our target and then some, and that's a good thing.
Stan, thank you.
Okay, folks, thank
Thanks,
you.
Dan.
Yeah.
Enjoy Thanksgiving, Stan. So I believe we're on to,
Bye, Stan.
does everybody have a,
Oh, keep that in your chair and bring it over to my,
all right, so how about 1E? Everybody okay with 1E?
drag that chair over.
Let's go with 1E now. We're gonna go to, treasurer's report.
Perfect, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody all set with the treasurer's report? Anybody have anything?
You want a motion?
Yes, I would.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Second.
Motion made. Everybody all second it? Everybody all set? Unanimous approved. All right, what do we got for F? We got 1F is a monthly accounting packet. Patty?
So the September packet was emailed on October 31st, so if you want to just acknowledge receipt and review of that. And I just got the October statement, so I'll get that to you within a week.
Everybody all set with that? So we need a motion to.
So moved.
A
Acknowledge.
motion made, second, all in favor? Thank you. Let's see, F. What's the accounting packet? Let's go number 1G. Let's say,
We just did
We
that.
just took care of that.
1G is all set. Okay. We go into 3.
Motion to accept the minutes is written.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Is there any discussion? A few things we have to take care of. We know we already taken care of making our yearly commitment. Is Mike Ward coming today?
No, I think I put it a little later in the meeting, because we're getting the new computer system, hopefully, which will have cybersecurity. He said he'd prefer to come next month. He'll have more information to share with us.
Okay. We need a vote for, if anybody's gonna go to the annual meeting out in Springfield, we need a vote. If anybody wants to go, there's,
I made a motion down, if you want to look at 11A,
okay, just to make sure,
if
okay.
someone wants to make the motion to approve the travel lodging expenses.
All right, so there's a motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor of the last month's minutes?
Aye.
That was 2. Number 3, we have the posting. Number 4, we have the warrant.
Motion to accept the November warrant, total amount 440232.23.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Patty, I have a curiosity question. On Sacco's bill, how can he do anything so,
It was,
$12?
I think it was to do with the postage. He had to send in the court documents and that on that appeal, and he split the postage between the four boards involved.
So that's not an error or mistake or anything?
No, 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 that was
okay.
just like a little.
Okay, so motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? So we're gonna
Aye.
sign that before we leave. Next, I believe we're into the 8th.
Motion to accept
New
Josephine.
employment.
Time out on that. So actually, we're pending receipt of her enrollment form. Sorry, she was already on the agenda, but she hasn't come up to complete her enrollment form yet. So we're going to table that one, or we should table.
We'll table this one.
Yeah.
So what happened again?
We're just waiting for her to come up and sign off on her enrollment papers, and I guess you could approve her, but I usually don't have you approve until she's actually signed the forms.
Okay, that's good.
So we'll
now-
table that till next month.
Okay.
Is a good idea.
All right, but she's all set to start working and be working, but we have to do that next meeting, okay?
Yeah, we'll get, yep.
All right, 8A.
Motion to accept Marilise Ramos, ABA instructional assistant, start date 11/4/2024.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion, Patty? All in favor?
Aye.
8B.
Motion to accept Jolisa Chenard, assistant treasurer collector, start date 11/18/2024.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Patty, was there always an assistant treasurer or a collector? There's always that position?
That was Andrea,
This was
Andrea just
Andrea's
left.
position.
Okay. Motion made, second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Correct. Patty, you want to say something on changes to return to service?
Well, it's kind of an administrative thing. If, it's just informational. If it turns up that we have to deal with the issue, I'll just follow the rules, the new changes to return to service. But we don't have anyone that's
So
attempting to
you've got
do
that
it.
on that, but we don't have anyone that's going to fit into this.
At the
right?
moment, yeah, there's no
Okay.
one. It's new law changes.
8A, violent assault, disability.
And once again, that's a new type of disability certain employees might be able to go to. We have nothing going on at the moment, but if that presents itself, we'll just follow the new rules in place.
So that's for information only, but you, everybody all set with that? Let's see what's next. 8B. Appropriate questionnaires on Prosper.
And I uploaded it. I gathered all the information. I thought I had emailed it just to show you what I uploaded. This is what we do every year. We just supply the budget information, appropriation, and salary information, and we'll get a letter next month from PERAC with our funding, appropriation, official funding letter. So it's just informational, and I have, if anyone wants to look at the form I submitted with all the figures, I can pass it around for you.
Everybody all set with that? Thank you, Patty. We have a 8 newsletter, pension news, boards must act to implement legislation. That's just for our information right now, Patty?
It is, there's so many things going on, like I said, as things happen, we'll look up the new law and
Well,
make
the
sure.
board should review this, though. The
Yeah.
board should look this over, so, okay? Everybody should look that over. What is next? We got here, Patty. 9D?
Oh, this was just the training.
9D, Patty, here. New administration training this month.
And no one.
But
no
that already
one
took place
was-
on November 19th, so,
Right, and no one attended.
so anyways. 980.
Well, this is just, the board voted on that new supplementary reg so that we can allow veterans to buy back their time over payment plans, and this is just the official letter from PERAC is now approved.
Okay, that's something they already approved, and that's something that they approved down in Boston, so we're all set on that. 9F.
So this is just, we discussed this a couple months ago when PERAC finally put the 2023 annual report. I think I emailed it to you, and the link, you can look at it on the PERAC link, or if you want the hard copy, it's in the office.
Okay, so if anybody wants to look at the hard copy, but that's information also. All right, now we'll go to 11. But we said Mike is not gonna be in this month, he'll be in next month. Well, she got another one that she
9G and 11G.
She
We have
just paid-
9G.
gave me when she came in downstairs. 9G. Is that also with Mike, or is that?
That's if we wanted-
Cybersecurity training?
If we
This-
wanted to do the PERAC one, right? But, yeah.
It's an optional informational webinar on December 17th.
I'll do that, Mr. Chairman.
You'll do that?
Yep.
Okay, Dave said he'd take care of this one on 9G. Dave, did you get involved with 11 also?
I can, I think, as Patty mentioned earlier, we're gonna table that until next month when we talk to Mike. So there's a lot of changes coming, and he can speak to that in much greater detail.
Okay. What else do we got there for 11? Does anybody have anything else? Patty, is there anything else that we should be, we've already picked our next meeting date.
Well, 11A was to vote if anybody wanted to go to the conference, right?
But we did that, you did that already
We did it.
earlier, right? So I've got the motion.
Okay.
Does everybody have anything else that we, where does the insurance stand? I know, Jim, you were involved in some of that, weren't you?
It was just a meeting the other night
Yeah.
at the insurance board. I'm not negotiating for.
Oh, that's right, you're not.
So now there's gonna be, I imagine, a representative for the retirees. And that comes from, there's a retirement board in
It's
Boston.
Chief Hart.
Is it Chief Hart?
Chief Hart is-
So that'll be the
Okay, so we're,
represent the retirees.
so you're completely out of it then?
Well, yeah, because of the section they invoked, it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be us involved. And that's great that the retirement from Boston reached out and got us a representative.
Mm-hmm.
So that's excellent.
So we'll wait until Chief Hart to get back to us then, what's going on?
Yeah, I know he was at a meeting, I think sometime this week, so I'm sure,
I think it was Thursday.
yeah.
It was.
And he will probably attend, I mean, I can invite him to a future meeting, but I think he was trying to gather information and had planned on coming to a meeting once he had something that he could talk about, you know?
Didn't they want to increase the insurance too? I think the retirees wanted.
Well,
to.
retirees right now, what they signed on last year were Blue Cross, again, the MedX2 plan, because we have to be,
I
you
meant the
know?
life insurance, isn't
Oh,
it?
the life
Isn't it
insurance, right, he was
5,000?
working on that.
It's gonna go up to 10,000 or something.
But he's trying to, I know Chief Hart was a proponent of that, and was hoping
Is that
that
something you just get as a retiree when you retire? Or you have to pay into it?
your whole time, new employees are offered to buy it, so usually you buy it when you first get hired, you either,
Right.
or you're supposed to decline it, and then you're allowed to carry it into retirement as well. I can take deductions out of retirement checks only for that particular life insurance. So,
All right, anybody have anything else? No. All right, can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
too,
Happy
Paul.
Thanksgiving, everybody.